Robert Bonavito here, New Jersey forensic accountant. Today we're going to talk about how legal hearings work at the District Court of Massachusetts. Now, this video is to give insight into legal hearings and how they work in the real world in the District Court of Massachusetts. Anybody who's interested in the legal system, professors, law students, judges, lawyers, or pro se litigants would find these interesting, because this is the first question is, what is a legal hearing? A legal hearing is a formal proceeding before the court. Okay, any formal proceeding. Now, the hearing we're going to talk about was before a federal district court in the District Court of Massachusetts. We're going to go through an actual transcript taken during the hearing in the case of Bonavito versus Harvard. There's more videos about this case on my website, because this is an actual case that we took on against my alma mater. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm a forensic accountant, but we were pro se in this litigation. So, and there's lots of reasons why we did it, and more detail if you want it. But this is just about the legal hearing that took place at the Boston District Court in Massachusetts. Now, here's some background on the case. Okay, many people consider this the most important case concerning discrimination since the board, Brown versus the Board of Education, Topeka, which stopped racial segregation. Now, this case, Bonavito versus Harvard, focuses on discrimination based on age and gender. Bonavito versus Harvard is a case involving a pro se plaintiff that went up against one of the most powerful institutions in Massachusetts, if not the country, Harvard University. Now, lawsuit background. Now, how this lawsuit worked or started was basically because historically universities, geographically, they were constrained by how many students they could take, right? Like in Massachusetts, Cambridge, where Harvard's located, maybe you could fit 15,000 or 10,000 people. I've been up there and there's no room for anything. There's no parking. It's just crazy. So physically, they could not take more students. But what's happened now is in the last 20 years, with the advent of hybrid learning and utilizing the internet and on-campus campus classes, they can reach out to students all over the world, right? Anybody who's smart enough to pass the classes can now take those classes. But rather accept more students, Harvard's, and other elite institutions, what they've done is they've put up fake barriers. And that's what happened to me. Okay, I earned a degree, but they wouldn't give it to me. And why not? There was a couple people in the admissions. I was already in the school, earned all the classes, we'll go through it. But basically because of my age, gender, and because I was an ethnic Italian. I mean, that's why they didn't give you my degree. Now, this here is where the hearing took place. This is the District Court of Boston. Also, the First Circuit Court of Appeals is here. So if you take a case to, Boston District Court and you appeal it, remember, you're getting a judge that's basically next door to the judge that heard your case. So especially in Harvard, you're probably not going to get a fair hearing. Now, there's 4 other videos on this case on my website if you really are interested in it. But here's some of the venues where this case went to and why people think it's one of the most important cases, especially a pro se case in the last 50 years. Now, it was in the New Jersey Superior Court, the United States District Court, New Jersey, before 2 federal judges where we won, United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, United States District Court of Massachusetts, Massachusetts Judicial Conduct Proceeding, Massachusetts Petition for Review of Judicial Conduct Proceeding, United States Court of Appeals First Circuit, and Supreme Court. It's still in, as this video is, it's still winding through the judicial proceedings. But remember, when you're in the District Court of Massachusetts, especially in Boston, everything's here. First Circuit, District Court, the great court. I recommend you go there. Beautiful court. I had a great time up there, except for the decision the judge made. But otherwise, it was fantastic. Article on the case. This is going to give you some really good background on the case. This is an article that was written about the case. And here it is. It basically says that Michael Shipp District Court ruled on June 30th. Harvard's motion was denied. Okay. Pro se plaintiff prevailed over defendant Harvard University, who entered the litigation with a cash hoard of $50 billion and the phalanx of the country's top lawyers. Harvard was outmaneuvered by a tough and persistent underdog pro se. And then they talk a little bit in the article about racial discrimination and how they're using age and gender against me. I was interviewed for this article, but Harvard obviously declined. So that was the case. Now, when you're pro se, okay, pro se is on one's behalf, and you have a right to go and represent yourself in court, which for me was the only option, because there was the qualified law firms were afraid to go up against Harvard because they didn't want to. Obviously, this case they would have easily won, and they were concerned about judges and stuff like that. So I had to do it on my own. Now, the basis of this whole case was that I was admitted to Harvard in 2016. Now, there's proof of this was an American Express payment, a copy of an acceptance letter, a copy of certified transcripts. Now, this is important because in the hearing, Harvard submits false documents, and they're saying that I knew before I was admitted. They think I was admitted in 2017. I was admitted in 2016. Now, as proof of this, this is a credit card, my credit card statement, where I paid for the first course, November 15th. This is the acceptance letter. This is November 18th, right? This is when I was accepted. On behalf of the registrar, I welcome you to Harvard University. This is an official transcript from Harvard listing all the courses that I've taken to earn a degree. This is an official transcript. Okay, this stuff is rock solid. Now, I don't want you to think that, I was an alumni, I am an alumni of Harvard. I'm on the alumni club and things like that, because we did get some credentials from Harvard. Here's a copy of one. This is for strategic management. And, I had a great time there at Harvard. Even this case was a lot of fun. But the problem was that they wouldn't give me my degree. And they based that on gender, age, and ethnicity. I just showed you that we've passed all the classes. We were admitted. We paid all the fees. We did everything right. But they wouldn't give us the degree. Now, damages that my experts had in this case was $856 million. Litigation costs was over $13 million I had to pay. Just because you're pro se doesn't mean you don't have fees. You have to realize that. And if we went to trial, they were saying there's a 96% chance we win. But there was never discovery, and that's what this judge did in the hearing. You'll see he put an end to the discovery. He stopped it. He didn't even let us have any discovery. He made the ruling based on fake evidence. Now, federal district court judge. Okay, this is the judge's background. Okay, this is his. Here's who he was. This judge, he was a graduate of Harvard College and Harvard Law School, the only judge in Boston with those two credentials, only one. He lectured at Harvard Law School. An active alumni at Harvard College, Judge Young served on various capacities at the Board of Overseers and the Alumni Association. Now, the Board of Overseers is a management position within the university where you actually manage the university, dictate policy. You have an oath to protect the university. Now, none of this was disclosed to us. And this is really a big problem because a magistrate judge in the United States shall disqualify himself in any proceeding in which his impartiality might be reasonably questioned. Here's a guy who works for Harvard in $1 billion lawsuit, and he took the case. He knew this going in. He knew we already defeated them. He knew that we were going to win this case. That Harvard didn't have anything, no legs to stand on. If we went to trial, we win. He had to stop it before discovery. Now, what did other federal district court judges say? Because remember, a lot of pro se clients don't have, the cases are not that well thought out. But this case here, we won before two federal district court judges. Federal District Court Michael Shipp, he ruled, okay, he dismissed Harvard's first motion. Motion denied. We won. Okay, what did he say about our case? It was filed in good faith. What about our filed in good faith? This is a real legitimate lawsuit. Okay, well, another federal district court judge, what did he do? Okay, This is Douglas E. Arpert. Okay, he ruled against Harvard. They took information and took it across state lines. If this came out in court, Harvard would be finished. Okay, and he says, given the nature of the material, the court finds plaintiff has a privacy interest in the information. An application of relevant facts supports sealing. They sealed these. I won. Okay, so this is a real case. Now, the purpose of the legal standard. Okay, this. First of all, when you're a pro se plaintiff, you're supposed to be held to less stringent standards, which in my experience was we were always held to very high standards, and in the hearing, the judges totally ignored us and accepted false documents. Now, this is their 12B6 ruling that they brought in. Now, at 12B6 rulings, they rarely win. Okay, the only times they win, it has more to do with the judge than the legal standard, and they said that we had a claim that which relief couldn't be granted on, which is total BS. We submitted another complaint just in case for over 200 pages. Judge didn't even look at it. Okay, now this is why they submitted false documents and new information that we never saw. We had no discovery, and they did this because of this case here. But what they did was they didn't tell the judge that the authenticity of which is not challenged. If I challenge those documents, the judge can't rely on it. He knew this. I told him they were false. I said I challenged the authenticity, everything we did right, and there's a bunch of stuff on this if you really want to get into it. Basically, the judge knew there was false information. He accepted that false information, and he dismissed the case based on it. Okay, that was their second motion. Okay, so now this is end of part one. I'm going to go through the transcript in part two. Hopefully you guys, like I said, enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you do. Send me comments. Thanks for listening. And look at part two, because this is where we actually go through the certified transcript.